Did that work? It did work. Awesome. Hey, kids are asleep. I am not fully here. I am having kind of a bad brain week. And I don't like it because there's too much to do. But finally making a streaming, and good. Well, I'm finally streaming again. Last Thursday, my husband needed to go to urgent care in the morning, and then from urgent care they said go to the ER because you need immediate imaging, and it's kind of weird. It's like always think going. I mean, even though we have been to the ER for reasons other than like life and death and gushing blood and all that, what happens is they have a lot of equipment there that you can use, that they use to check things and image things and save lives. And I remember one time I talked to my hematologist and asked her if I was like, she didn't like seeing me because I wasn't like the condition I have is just, it's terminal but treatable. So if you just treat it the whole life, you're fine until something else gets you. So I always feel like I'm a boring patient. And she's like, well, I had to send my last patient to the emergency room. So no, I don't dislike seeing you. And I'm like, wow, even when you're visiting your oncologist or hematologist, they might need to send you to the emergency room to save lives, image something. I don't know. It was a very weird thing for me. Anyway, my point is he's fine. But that's where I was last Thursday. I did make it home technically in time, but it was with not knowing how long he was going to be there, I sat with him for a couple hours, and then I drove home because we have a new dog, wanted to let her out. And then, of course, by the time I got home, he's like, okay, they're ready to discharge me. I'm like, okay, I drove all the way back over to the hospital and blah, blah, blah. Man. Yeah, I would imagine boring patients are preferable, actually. Okay, yes, you haven't been here in a while, Sybil Rose. We have missed you. I'm sorry. So yeah, we're dealing with that. So that's where I was last Thursday. So I'm sorry about that, but he's fine. Hey, Cypher, good to see you. We got two. Where are my auto shout out? Auto shout outs are not working. Showed up late. No. Channel not found. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I don't know. I think I messed up my bots. Anyway, you guys should follow The Kids Are Asleep and Cypher of Tear, for sure. Anyway, this week I've not just been on mentally. I did finish a short story today, so I'm proud of that. But I'm here to just kind of talk about writing, I guess. That's what I do. That's this whole thing. Okay. Anyway, if folks have something they want me to talk about, or have you questions, we can turn this into an AMA. Let me know. I'm also trying a new orangey lipstick. And my hair was cool for like a couple of days, and then it got suddenly shaggy. And is this what guys go through, or people with really short hair? Because I'm not used to this. I'm used to getting my hair cut and then maybe having it cut again the next year. So this is different. I do have a dog cam set up, as you can see. The dog's not in here. So there's that. But thank you, Kids Are Asleep. Thank you very much. At least that worked. Jeez. Anyway. Yeah, before we get started, I do want to talk about one thing. If you read my newsletter, which is at patreon.com/mightymer, it's free. You don't need to pay me anything to get the newsletter. I was talking about my newest game obsession, which is TR49. And I've played through the Kotaku article I read on the game said it was pretty good. I'd finished it in about 6 hours, and I was looking at my Steam account today, and I'm like, I'm almost at 30. I have found four of the endings, and yeah, I finally got to where I think I want to start over and go through a walkthrough now because I was proud of myself for finding those four. But it's a lot like the Return of the Obra Dinn, where you just basically have to figure out what's going on based on data, and how these game designers have made that into an actual genre now. I don't know what it's called. Cypher, do you know? Anyway, if you like games like Her Story, games like Return of the Obra Dinn, and Analog a Hate Story. Analog a Hate Story is one of my favorites, and I don't recall hearing anybody ever talk about it. But it's a Korean deep space type visual novel of you're trying to figure out what happened on this space station where everyone's dead. Oh, I was asking if you knew if the look through data to find out the truth of something like Her Story or Return of the Obra Dinn, that genre had a name. That's all. Anyway, I finally got through. Oh, hey, see, been playing Cyberpunk 2077. Super late to that party. Yeah. It needs one though, because also as I was playing that, my kid was playing Galley House. I can't remember what it was. They told me. I tried to remember what it was. But apparently it's the same kind of game. So, oh wait, are we being visited? Finally being visited by Doggo. No, don't come here. Go. Hello. You need to go sit down in front of dog cam. Okay? She's thinking about it. She's standing right outside the... Here, let me see if I can get her to lie down. Come here, Sky. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Sky. Come here. Sky. Come here. Down. Whoa. Now you think we're playing. Down. Down. Okay. Good girl. Now just stay there and entertain the people. She's not going to stay there and entertain the people. Oh, interestingly enough, I started playing with the horizontal and vertical different options, and now apparently the vertical option shows the dog better than the horizontal one. Are we talking about haircuts? Because I'm about 4 years overdue. Yeah, I was just saying how I really liked my hair when I got it cut, and now it's like just a couple of weeks later, and suddenly it's like, oh, there's so much of it. When I was used to, okay, bye, Sky. I tried, guys. I did. I think probably I need to have the treats in here too. Dog says, what if I sit here and look at you until you give me a treat? Yeah, that's pretty much what she's doing. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry. It's not best brain time for me right now, but let's do a podcast because I'm a week overdue. And also I can't remember. I think this is number 17. But I do have news. Ursula and I will be recording next week. Maybe we'll talk about the HWA debacle. Maybe I'll talk about it here. Who knows? Again, ask me anything if you want to talk. I'm going to kind of play this one loose. Yes, I do realize drinking carbonated water out of a gargantuan glass bottle is not very stream friendly, but this is what I have. Oh, kids are asleep. Do you know what I'm referring to with the HWA thing? Good times. This is I Should Be Writing, Season 22, Episode 17. It looks like I'm chugging wine. Yeah. Hi there, welcome to I Should Be Writing. This is a podcast for wannabe fiction writers. It's been going on since 2025. In fact, this weekend, August 9th, is the birthday of I Should Be Writing. It'll turn 21. So this is me talking about writing career and helping you get through it or to it. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but we stream weekly on Twitch, Thursday afternoons, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And question from chat, am I heading to Worldcon in a couple of weeks? Yes, I am. I will be going to Worldcon. I've got programming, I think, on Thursday all weekend. I've got 7 things. If you go to patreon.com/mightymur, you'll see my free newsletter as the latest post, and I've got my schedule up there. But I've got a reading, I've got a coffee clutch, except they're calling it a table talk now, and a couple of panels. One panel I'm doing with Kieran Gillian, who I'm a big fan of. I've done panels with him before. It's like no big deal. Sorry, I've gotten to where I'm pretty cool around other authors, even if I'm fans of them, because it's like, well, that's kind of my job too. But then when someone does something I don't do, like game writing or comics writing or acting or whatever, I still can turn into a complete goober fangirl. So I'll be on a panel with Kieran, and then I'll be on another panel with Will Wheaton. And so, just pray for me, y'all, because I don't know how I'm going to keep my cool. It's going to be hard. I've tried to passed him many times in trying to meet him over the last many years and never actually succeeded. So I told my husband about it, and he's like, oh yeah, that's not going to happen. Something will happen to mess that up. What is a table talk exactly? It's funny. It's coffee clutch, which is what it used to be called, which also made no sense because I think I attended one coffee clutch where they actually gave you coffee. But a table talk is where you get to sit at a table, a big round table of about 12 seats, and sit with someone and talk to them. So it's like a panel, only it's a very small room and it's more interactive where you can discuss things and ask about anything. What you do is you go find where the table talk sign up is, and you find the author you want to sign up for, and you put your name on the list. And if they're very popular, they'll probably have a wait list, so you'll want to get in there early. Table talk is a lot like a reading for me personally, because I have been to readings that have been full. I've had signing lines that have been long, and I've had table talks with a wait list. I have also had readings that have been mostly empty, no signing line, and empty table talks. And this has not gone in this has not been steady like through my career. Like I could have, a couple of years ago, I had really long signing line, and then I signed maybe 2 or 3 things at the last con I went to. I don't know what's going to happen. Luckily, I've stopped having my ego attached to it, so I don't really get disappointed. I get annoyed when I don't know how to say this kindly. I had one signing. I had 2 signings at the last con I was at, and I'm like, why do I have 2 signings? And the con said, well, someone said they couldn't be here till Sunday, and they really wanted to see you. And I'm like, but my first signing, I had 4 people, so why would I do a completely separate second signing? And I canceled it politely. I was nice, but it was still just kind of like, I don't mind when no one shows up. I know when people go to cons, therefore they're there for many different reasons. I don't get my ego all tied up in a wad. But I'm realistic when it comes to, okay, you want me to do what? For how long? With nobody there. But anyway, yes, I'm going to Worldcon. I'm very much looking forward to it. Going to see some old friends. Ursula Vernon, T. Kingfisher, is the Toastmaster, which is terrifying for me because I'm her friend and I've known many people. People get very touchy about the Hugos, almost always rightly so, because some people don't treat it professionally. Some people ramble too much. Some people don't think it's important to learn the pronunciation of people's names, things like that. Melissa and I got COVID boosters last night. Is there a new booster available, or is this just something you got because it was time for you? Because if there's a new booster available, I would want it, but I haven't heard that. Yes, literary beer's also good. So anyway, as I said, I've been kind of without brain. When my brain always wants to take everything I have to do on my to-do list and inflate it to be scary. So when I'm finishing a book, I'm thinking I'll be able to focus on everything else because I'll have the book done and I can relax and just take on this other stuff. And I won't have anything stressing me out. So when I'm done with the book, my brain looks at the other things I have to do, which is not that much compared to writing a book. And then it's like, oh my God, I have so much to do. And I'm like, I don't necessarily. This is workable. But getting my brain in shape to actually do it has been the irritating thing. But I did finish the story I started last week. It's a first draft, I think it needs some work. But I'm pretty happy with it. I did what I wanted to get done. I don't write short very often, so that's why I'm very hesitant about it. You are always my first visit when my life settles down to get me to start thinking about writing. Thank you, Seed. Any good tips on stepping into a manuscript after a long break? Okay, so, yes. First, read it. If the draft is unfinished, you need to read it. Second, if you don't know where you were going, and I'm speaking this 100% from experience. You may not be experiencing these things, but this is what I've experienced. If you pick it up and you read it and you don't know where you were going, that's okay. Remember, this is not set in stone. It's not even set in your mind, clearly. So if you go in another direction and you know it wasn't the one you initially intended on, it doesn't matter because it's your book or your project. So if you can't remember where you were going with it, choose something else. No one's going to know. In my first book, I ended a chapter with someone knocking at the door, and life and crap got in the way. I had a toddler at the time, and I remember I picked up the book like a couple of months later, and I'm like, I have no idea who's at the door. No clue. Didn't know who was at the door, didn't know what they were there to say, didn't know what would take the story. No clue. So be a little kind to yourself. If you still can't get into it, don't be afraid to start something new. I think one of the things younger or beginning writers don't allow themselves is you can put down a project and come back to it. That's, no one's going to say you have to finish this story now or never again. Just if it's not working for you, put it down and try something else. Don't fall into the trap of anytime something gets hard, putting it down and starting something new. That's a different situation. But I'm saying if you're going back to something you haven't been looking at in a while and you feel you can't get into it, then just put it down. Start something else. You'll get your brain moving creatively, and then you'll be able to maybe go back to where you wanted to go with the first project. But remember that the goal is to write. And if you are too hard on yourself about the first project, if you are confused about the first project and let that slow you down, none of that is good. So pick up the project, read it. If you knew where you were going, then write. If you didn't know where you're going, guess. And if you really don't know, put it down and start something new. Underpope asks, how do I learn how to write exciting and adrenaline-fueled action scenes? Okay, well, here's the deal. This is something I still struggle with. Not the action scenes, but any scene that evokes an emotion, like excitement or sexual energy or tension, or mystery. That's key. Excuse me. Excuse me, my throat's getting all tickly again. First, remember that you know what's going on, you know what's going to happen. And writing is slower than reading. So when you're reading that, when you're writing the scene, it's crawling along. You may stop, rethink an earlier word, decide to let spell check fix the time you misspelled unimportant, and then you get back to it. And you are experiencing the scene at a very slow rate. And you don't think about the fact that someone who doesn't know what's going to happen will be reading this at a different speed. So you can't really be hard on yourself for that. Secondly, I always forget to do this, I think, because I like to read just to enjoy reading, and I usually don't read with the intent on learning. The learning happens back brain, I'm sure, but I think whenever I come up with how do I do this scene, I forget the obvious thing, which is go find someone else who did it and see how it worked. I remember the first time I had to write a book 2. It was a Ghost Train to New Orleans. I did not know how to sum everything up in the first chapter. And so I picked up Carrie Vaughn's Kitty book number 2. She's got a series of werewolf DJ books. And I really was enjoying them at the time. So I picked up book 2 specifically to read through and mark what she told at the beginning of the chapter that was from the previous book and what she told to set up the new book and how that worked. So you can also do that. Just check out another book that you know when you read it, it excited you. If I need to remember that one of the best tense scenes I've ever read was in China Miéville's The Scar. When The Scar is about a city of ships that is trying to pull through, like basically make a big hole in reality to pull through a sea monster big enough to pull the city of ships. So they'll get to wander around. How they planned on steering it, I don't remember. But the most tense scene was something was wrong with the fish, so they sent somebody down in a diving bell. So it's dark, it's claustrophobic, they're trying to figure out what's going on, and I remember being so tense in that scene, reading it. And that's, so see what others have done, see what has created an emotion in you. I feel like I'm always rereading some Stephen King book. It's like my comfort read. But there's some scenes where he'll go into the details. And I don't know if it's for pacing or if it's for backstory building or what, but somebody crawling through a basement window and going into an unknown house. It's not even haunted. It's like there's nothing, you don't even anticipate something scary happening. You just know it's the normal tension of breaking into someone's house. He goes at it at a detail that I never think to. And I knew if I did it, I'd be thinking, this is boring. I want to get to the fun stuff. But King knows to lay it out. and that I'm going to be reading it at a different speed. So look to what your what books you like have done. And then I want to say the book is called Write the Fight Right. I'm going to need to look that up. That seems to be, I think it's Matt Wallace has recommended that book. I thought I charged my iPad last night. I clearly did not. So if somebody could find that, I think it's called Write the Fight Right. That should help you on some action stuff. And of course, if you're doing sword fighting, as you say you are, make sure you get the language correct regarding the sword, its weight, single blade or is it sharp on both sides, all that stuff, because someone will point their fingers if you get it wrong. Thank you, Kids Are Asleep. AlanBaxter.com.au. Yeah, yeah, my book's Write Fight. That's WRITE. I'll put a link in the show notes if you're listening to this later. Speaking of books about craft, I am reading page 1. I always want to call it plot. I think it's a font thing with another writing book. But page 1 to Done by Jessica Brody. I'm getting into that now. And she's a big fan of a lot of early writing, and not even outlining, just making sure you understand your own world building, your own characters, your own conflicts before you start writing. When you start writing, you remember that all first drafts are terrible, so you just let yourself go. Which, allow yourself to write terrible first drafts is a commonly used piece of advice that I think we all need to hear all the time, because I still judge myself with my first drafts. I tried really hard to not do that. Kids Are Asleep says there's also this one from Ree Brennan. It is writing fight scenes. So I'll put that link in the show notes as well. Thank you, Valerie. Yes, I'm writing down my show notes, so I set this up a little bit easier. And it looks like we've got an ad starting in half a minute. Also known as 30 seconds where I come from. I've been missing streaming because I used to stream a lot more during lockdown times. And I think now I don't allow myself to look at streaming like something I can do during the day unless I'm doing a podcast, which is unfair. It's unfair to me. It's unfair. Okay, it's just unfair to me. I'm not going to have a big enough ego to say it's unfair to you guys, but I want to allow myself to do more streaming. I just need to find out when. I find the evening streaming is harder for me because I keep thinking at the end of the day I want to relax. I still don't know how Valerie does it at 9 o'clock, because 9 o'clock I'm really ready to relax, and that's when you start up your stream. So that's just amazing. I read my chapter 1 and think it's amazing. I read chapter 20 and think it's trash. That is possibly because you spent more time thinking about chapter 1. And then by the time you got to chapter 20, you had a flow going. But you didn't work that hard on it as you did chapter 1 to set everything up. Chug that wine. Or else maybe you should just allow yourself to finish it and then look at the whole thing as one big thing to edit. All right. Wow. Ad break ended. Great. I'm doing. Okay. The 50% mark is where I often get the bad feels. Yeah, yeah. I just get a lot of questioning. So much questioning. I think the 50% mark is when you get deep enough in going, if I go further, then I'm really committing to this, and if it's not good, then that's just even more wasted time. Whereas if you turn around now, it's probably okay. You can fix it. I hear fun things going on downstairs, I think. I hope. What else was I... Oh, I was going to talk about notebooks. I have a stupid problem. And I know it's stupid, and I still have it. So, I have a lot of notebooks. Every writer does, I know. But the thing is, I can't settle on which ones to use when. Because I have done the irresponsible thing and purchased several good holders. Good notebook covers. Like this is the Roter Faden Taschenbegleiter. And I love it. It's great. It's just like you spend money on the actual folder and then you just buy inexpensive notebooks to put inside. But then ideally I would use that for everything because I've got a number of notebooks. I can have one for my, diary, my planner, and then one for anything else. But I also want to keep a small one in my purse. So I've got a small traveler's cover that I put little notebooks in so I can keep that in my purse when I need it. And then talked about this a couple of years ago when Grant Baciocco did a YouTube video on the creative journal that Jim Henson kept. And I'm thinking, oh, I'll do one of them too. And so that's the third one. The fourth one is the 5-year diary that I bought and that's just designed so you just write a couple of words down for every year, for every day and every year. And then you start, after you're done in December, you start at the beginning again and go down to the next year. And now I'm on year 3, and it's really interesting to see what was happening on this day years ago. And I think the biggest problem is that, except maybe the creativity journal, all of these need to be different notebooks. I can't carry around my 5-year notebook that sits by my bed, and I can't fit the Rosa Faden Taschenbegleiter in my purse because it's huge. Even as I'm trying to condense my notes, because my notes are everywhere. I want to write something down. I find a piece of paper. I don't get my notebook. I just find the nearest piece of paper so I can write it down. I don't know. So, but then I just thought, these notebooks have different uses. So how do I use them all, or how do I condense them? I don't know. I don't know the answer. And it feels kind of dumb because it feels like this is a very easy problem, but I don't know what the answer is. So I guess it's not an easy problem to fix. I have like 3 notebooks that are labeled the edit notes for my latest book that I just edited. 3. And they're not full. I just picked up one and thought, this is going to be the edit notebook, and then forgot or lost it. I don't know. So I picked up another one and said, this one. And still most of the notes are on pieces of legal paper that I tore out. So it's just, I've gone past the problem that most people have of, well, I can't make the journal pretty, so I don't want to write in it. I've gone past that. I've mastered that problem. But I still have problems figuring out how to use certain things and when. I just stopped getting the Hobonichi planner because it had so many different layouts in one planner, so many different layouts for your month and year and days, that I'm like, okay, I'm using this for one thing and I'm using this one for my everyday, but then I've got these two over here. What am I supposed to do with them? And then I feel like I'm copying everything from the same thing from calendar to calendar in the same book. And I'm pretty sure that's not how you're supposed to do it either. And the worst thing is, I tried to look up guidance on how people set up their Hobonichi planners or whatever, and what they use all the things for. And all they want to show me is ways they've made them pretty. And while that's annoying, what it tells me is, oh, I might be the only person who struggles with what to do with these pages because people either use them or they don't. There's no wrong way to do it. I think the only wrong way to do it is try to start something new and then forget about it, which is what I usually do. That's my notebook problem. I'm not proud. I'm just saying what it is. And since I did not have a topic, I'm going to bring up the AI thing anyway. Because I have a theory. I have not read it yet, but I read Chuck Wendig's takedown, and I've seen a couple of videos. I'm not a member of the HWA, so the Horror Writers Association. So, yesterday, I think, it came out, their newsletter came out, and within the newsletter, not from the president of HWA, but someone from the board. Yeah, Kids Are Asleep says, I'm not going to read it, not giving time to the nonsense. Right. The angle they took was strange, though. First, they had an essay basically saying, stop being mean to me about AI. It was called Gatekeepers. And I'm like, what gate is being kept? Gatekeepers is usually a term people use when they talk about editors and agents only allowing certain people to publish, which is not that big of a deal now because anybody can publish. Self-pub is huge. Or they can say it's accomplished authors don't give time or mentorship or help or even just like an invitation to hang out to newer writers. That's another gatekeeping, although that's often called pulling the ladder up behind you, but I think I'm mixing my metaphors here. So I don't know what gate is being kept and by whom, but this person was angry that authors are pissed about AI. And all of her arguments were kind of like, you don't mind when somebody brushes up against you in a grocery store, so why would you mind if I shoot you? It's like, or why would you mind if I shoot you? That kind of mentality of, and people talk about how the data centers are literally draining lakes. And we got one turned down, thank goodness, that was going to take more energy than the nearby town it was bordered on. So, but this person saying, well, we all drive gas guzzlers and we've done horrible things to the planet already. So why complain about the data centers? And it was just fascinating because I remember somebody posting clips of people like Sandra Bullock. I want to say there was another female actor who was trying to say AI is here to stay, so we have to be part, have to get on board. And that reminded me of all the famous people who were getting really into NFTs, and I realized it was because they bought them. Of course they want NFTs to be big. Oh, the doggy's back. Hello. Yes, I'm still here. The camera's still on. But you're not over there, you're over here. Okay. The fact that Are you hanging out? No. Okay. You guys got to see the dog wander by on dog cam. That's all I got. I'm sorry. I can't remember if she actually addressed the fact that in order to allow the AI to make stories, they had to steal our books and feed it to them. And these people have been on record of saying they stole the books because they didn't want to have to pay for them. And when you're a tech bro, that's okay. It's like when you're a poor person and you steal something, you get thrown in jail. If you're a rich person and you steal something, it's called insider trading and you usually can get off. It's the fact that these tech bros who are getting some pretty big investors, I think they're the ones who are going, we have to use this. I know somebody who, uh, I won't say which university, but they work at a university and they said that from on high, the bosses said, you have to use AI. And they're like, how? When? Where? And they said, I don't care, you just use it. And I'm like, you bought into the crap that these people sold you, didn't you? They told you AI was going to change the world and get you lots of money and fix this and tweak that and be all awesome. And you fell for it and you spent money on it. And now you're saying, God, please use it somewhere. And it's, when I hear people say that, that's what I think they're doing when they start defending it and saying it's here to stay. From chat, we have Safara Gyron, I don't, was the writer, used to be a trustee for HWA and has now been removed from that role. So I guess that caught on, that backlash got served. Lots of people mad about that. Seat says, I work in IT field. Even the places where they make us use AI, it is awful. Wow. Yeah. Seat says, AI is a weird topic. Personally, I think there's no situation where AI isn't a net negative to society, and even the fields people think it's okay. Yeah, we've all got, I think everybody has a different level of what large language model they think is okay, but I'm fairly sure that most people, except for the wealthy and people who want to be creative but don't want to put in the work, think that using it creatively is terrible. And we have to keep saying it. And I think whenever anybody challenges us on, starting out with they stole from me personally, is a good start. I had somebody pitch the CEO of a company that's doing like AI tools for writers. They want to be on my show. I did not answer them. It's just baffling. I don't know. They stole from me personally is the only thing that's come up close to penetrating the pro AI shields of some people I know. Yeah. Well, they did. I am fully in on that class action lawsuit. But what gets me is that they stole them. They have to pay up to only a percentage of what they stole. But they still get to use it. That damage has been done. So the damage it's going to do to my career, even beyond the $3,000 per book the judge says we get. it's already affecting our lives much more than just that. Can't wait to get taxed on whatever fraction of the settlement reaches me eventually. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, AI is literally deteriorating students' ability to think critically in some studies. Yes, I've heard that too. If you don't problem solve, your brain just, as they say on The Good Place, gets smoother. It has tendency to be confidently wrong is insidious. There's a guy I've seen on Instagram who just asks AI to do stupid stuff and watches it flail around. And that gives me life. It's nice to hear that it's just terrible. Kids Are Asleep says it is like they stole a bunch of cars, chopped them up, made new cars, then opened a car dealership, and then when they got sued about it, they don't have to close the dealership, just pay the stolen car owners a few dollars. Yeah. I saw a cartoon of somebody going to a restaurant and ordering off the menu, and then when the food comes, they're like, I made that. It's just awful. It's just, and I did not mean to start this podcast just with me ending up frothing at the mouth going, I hate it. So what else is going on? Sorry. If anybody has any other questions, happy to talk about it. I am Saturday. Saturday is my affiliate anniversary. I believe I became six-year anniversary of being a Twitch affiliate. I might do a stream on Saturday, and then Sunday is I Should Be Writing's anniversary, so I'll definitely be doing a stream then. I don't know what it'll be. No clue. But I feel like I should, encourage. I should mark the things. I didn't do well marking the 20th anniversary last year. So maybe I should just mark it better this year. Yes, and Cypher's coming to town, and I will not forget about barbecue on Saturday. Don't worry. I don't stream as long as you do. I just don't have the streaming endurance. So even if I just do one in mid-afternoon, I won't miss dinner. Don't worry. My favorite pirate. I don't know. I haven't kept up on my pirate lore. I just know that there's so much in the North Carolina's coastline is called the Graveyard of the Atlantic. So a lot of ships there. In fact, people think that's where Aaron Burr's daughter, that there's that sweet song in Hamilton for Theodosia, and then you never hear about her again. She's probably somewhere off the North Carolina coast, they think. Pass on congrats to Ursula for winning a I'd never know how to say that. Mythopic? Honestly, don't know. I'm embarrassed now. For Snake Eater, congratulations, Ursula. I will text her and tell her. Yeah, Cypher, you're making Pocopia look really good. I'm just trying to be strong about the Switch too. Mythopoeic? Which is funnier spelled that way. Yes, it is. It's much funnier. I am having trouble deciding what book to write next. I have two big ones that I am thinking about. One is one is the murder mystery that it takes place amid the people who are going to be sacrificed, and they killed the person who's going to be a huge sacrifice. And so there's that strange murder to solve. I think I hear dog shenanigans. Hang on. Uh-oh. Well, there's something torn up downstairs, but I think it's styrofoam. I don't think it was anything important. Sorry about that. But I've got her up here with me, so. So yeah, there's the murder mystery inside the monster that's supposed to eat everybody, only it gets a piece of dead meat and bad things happen. And the other one is my continuing my plant noir story about the Venus flytrap that is becoming much more of a mushroom story. I think I find mushrooms more interesting than carnivorous plants, which says a lot because I really like carnivorous plants, but all of the complexities with mushrooms is just adding to the story right and left. So Key Todd says, in the early years, did you ever submit stories to writers of the future? I did not. I've never submitted to them. I had a friend who did and got close to winning and was not happy with. They often talked about how they were successful at not doing much with having much to do with Scientology. But I heard from some of the people who were getting near the finalist mark, some things were happening that they were not very comfortable with. So that was not, so I still have not put, the dog is really distracting me. I know she's into something. I'm trying to finish a goddamn sentence so I can just go check on it. From what I've heard, it's very prestigious, but also it's more connected to Scientology than they sort of imply at the beginning. Excuse me. What? What are you doing? Oh, okay. Okay, come here with me. Come on. All right. So yeah, what she grabbed was the journal I started to make, my creativity journal. It is fuzzy. It's a Moleskine. It's got dog slobber on it now. But it's very fuzzy. It's comforting to hold. The problem is, I did not realize, is I don't know if you can tell. No, you can't really tell. The paper do not like fountain pen. So it just kind of goes all over. So that was a big downside for me, but it's still fuzzy and pleasant to hold, and Sky likes it now. Yeah, you're trying to figure out what else you can get into, but I'm right here. I'm watching you. They would watch you too if you just go sit down. Yeah, she's the level of, she's an adult, but she's still doing some puppy stuff. And I guess still new enough to be pushing boundaries. How very appropriate for today. Journal as topic and snack. Indeed. That's right. But I think I'm going to be done with this because I need to go work on some homework training this dog, and then we've got obedience class. Right? Yeah. Excuse me. New adult doggo, yes. So yeah, if you guys got any more questions, let me know. I need to put a bed in here and some treats, and I think that'll get her to settle down real fast. But as for writing, yes, I'm finishing a short story. I'm working on some novel ideas. Hopefully we'll have something to my agent by Worldcon. That's a good deadline, right? I'm going to see him at Worldcon, I hope. He lives in LA. Anybody going to Worldcon, let me know what are you hoping for? What are you looking for professionally at the con? Tell me that. Keatod says, where will the short story appear? I don't know. Excuse me. It's I have to submit it. So, and they have no obligation to, they have no obligation to buy it. So, who should go? Why? I've never been. Well, it's going to have a lot of writers and editors and agents, and it's going to have, I assume it'll have more Hollywood people because it's in LA. What are you? You are not a small dog. What are you doing? I think she's trapped herself behind my chair. Just hoping not to have a tension headache this year. Me too, Under Pope. I hope you'll be good. First time, not sure what to hope for. Okay. If you want to meet authors, if you want to, as a fan, you can do that. You can schmooze with agents and editors. I'll probably do a follow-up on my usual convention schmoozing techniques before we go. There's BarCon, which says bar, but you don't have to drink. Nope. I don't know who judges people for drinking because I haven't seen anybody ever mind if someone orders a non-alcoholic drink. You go to BarCon to talk to other writers, talk to editors. I mean, just a lot of people in science fiction will be there. We'll be doing panels talking about all sorts of things regarding science fiction, TV, books. Those probably will be some focus on LA or California because that's what most Worldcons do. They like to bring in some sort of local flavor regarding fandom over the years. There she goes. Okay, she's settled down. Yay. Lee may go next year. Was in Montreal, especially since my niece is living there. Well, awesome. Yes. Science panels. Thank you, Underpope. Yes, it'll have science panels as well. I forget all the panels that I'm not involved in or want to see, but there will be science panels, art panels. There'll be talks about fandom. There'll be talks about, usually if something like Star Trek or Battlestar Galactica or Babylon 5 or something is coming up on an anniversary, there'll probably be some retrospectives of those. I'll be doing 2 live podcasts. I'll be doing a live Escape Pod and a live Ditch Diggers with Ursula. And the schedule is up and you can peruse it. That's true. Thank you. I see there's an ad break and I didn't get a warning. Is that correct? But next year it's going to be in Montreal. And then the next year, I don't see how anything will beat this. Brisbane will have it in Australia. And Brisbane, the only reason I'm sure is because everybody else withdrew their bid. So right. I will continue talking about Worldcon when the ad break is over. I need to remember to start running them at the top of the hour. Or rather, before I get started. Because then that'll at least get rid of one of the ad rolls. But apparently 31 seconds. Look at the dog. She's snoozing. It's comforting. Hey, Gamer Gramp. Can we do a shout out for Gamer Gramp? Will that work? That worked. Okay, good. All right, in theory, we're done in a couple of seconds. Add after you say hi. Well, all I did was a shout out, Gamer Gramp. I didn't give any sort of, I don't know, what's the word? Wisdom. I don't know. Gotta love Twitch. Yep. Hey, these ads get me, and some the subs people have give me like $50 a month. So, well worth it, I guess. I don't know. That barely even buys lunch these days. I was talking about Worldcon. It's a good place to meet people. It's a good place to network. It's a good place to learn things. Seeing your favorite writer do a reading or meeting them after a panel is a big thrill. And meeting people who are your peers is great. That networking, you never know like who among your peers is going to maybe take off, and then you'll know somebody who can take off so they can introduce you to people. And I'm not saying spend all of your friendships like they're one-on-one transactions, but networking is meeting people, being polite to them, learning about their profession, telling them about yours, and then maybe someday something good will come of that. I've been going because I enjoy the con. I enjoy being part of the World Science Fiction Society. I enjoy being part of the Hugo ceremonies, because if you are a member of Worldcon, you can vote for the Hugos. Voting ends this weekend on midnight Pacific time on Saturday. So get your votes in if you haven't. Please, please, please. And they move around the world, and I think because of the political climate in this country, it's going to be foreign for many, many, many years. Next year will be Montreal. The year after that, as I was saying, will probably be Brisbane, because nobody is going up against Brisbane to host. After that, I want to say Nice, or maybe they withdrew their bid. I can't remember. But do I think I'll make it to Montreal? I can't see why not. The only one I've missed on purpose was Chengdu. Everybody missed New Zealand. Felt so bad for those guys, man. They planned that con for 10 years. But yeah, I'm trying to go to every Worldcon. It makes me feel like a bigger part of science fiction than just being an author. And I know that there are some people who I don't see anywhere else in science fiction that I'll see at Worldcon. And let's face it, some of the aging writers make that their only con. And, if you want to meet Pat Cadigan, Worldcon's the place to do it. If you had one city to choose as a must-attend, what would it be? Question for everyone. It's sci-fi and fantasy. Also, there's the business meeting, which is everybody also has a right to attend. It is long and boring and uses Robert's Rules of Order. Everybody has a right to attend and vote, but if you don't understand Robert's Rules of Order, you may get lost and or just fall asleep. It's a rough room. And by rough, I mean like, if someone told you to spend your afternoon watching paint dry, how that would be rough. It wouldn't be difficult, but it wouldn't be pleasant. But it's important. They talk about, that's how they changed the rules of voting in the Hugos after the Sad Puppies messed it up in 2015. That's how we got the Lodestar Award for young adult stuff. It's how the Fancast Hugo got created. All of this comes out of the business meeting of the World Science Fiction Convention. I had so much trouble saying that. That's why it's shortened to Worldcon. But all of that is discussed and argued about and voted on in the business meeting. Oh, the business meeting can be attended virtually now. Well, that's cool. How did someone mess it up in 2015? Oh, children, pull up a chair. Let me tell you. There were some people who were not satisfied with the authors who were getting on the list. They getting nominated for Hugos. They thought that they were diversity votes or sympathy votes or something, and did not think that anything these people made were worthy of awards. And they wanted their own stuff, which was not political. It hurts me to say that. If you think a story's not political, that probably just means it is your politics 100%. So you don't think of it as political. You think of it as just how things should be. But anyway, most everybody will put a great number of different things to nominate when they do their nominations. What these guys did was say, everybody in the sound of my voice, put these books or these short stories or these movies or whatever on your ballot. And so since everybody was following that slate so closely, that's what ended up on the ballot. And sometimes they put people on there that they knew would get liberal backlash. So it's like, I know people who got nominated for Hugos and then were accused to be in league with the people who made these slates and really put in a bad place. But in the end, in one of the most interesting Hugo Awards I've ever seen, I think 7 no awards were given out, either 5 or 7, which means everybody put no award first on their list and just didn't say it should be given out. So, yeah, it was exciting. I think they did a good job with the Toastmaster part, because they had to get up there and be like, here's the best novel. Excuse me. With the best novel, here are the nominees, and then the voters have decided not to give a Hugo out for that award this year, and then they'd move on to the next one. It got okay. Yeah, in chat we're saying sad puppies were dissatisfied, aka they're racist and misogynistic. Yes. The people they had problems with were all people of color, women, queer people. It's so. And the Kids Are Asleep says, TLDR, racist misogynist jerks created a slate and got their own nasty jerks and some innocent bystanders on the final ballot. Chuck Tingle was one of them. Well, see, here's the deal. And this is good about the Hugos, but it's also a little difficult. After this happened, enough people got angry to where they put forth another way of voting. Don't ask me what it is. I still do not fully understand it, but it has to do with weighting, that's with a GHT, your nominations. So if you've got, I think every person has a certain amount of voting potential, and so if you put 5 nominees on your list, your potential is going towards those 5. If you put 1 on your list, then it all goes towards that 1. Also, you can vote for 5, but 6 will be nominated. So that slate didn't work. The thing is, to change the rules, change the laws in World Science Fiction Society, you need 2 years. So you need a year to change it, and then the next Worldcon tries it out, and then you vote to keep it. Also the best game category. We had, and best poem. Those are two newer ones that had a trial Worldcon and then was voted to be official the next year. Did N.K. Jemisin win the first of her 3 consecutive best novel wins in 2015? I think you're right. I don't know if it was consecutive. Were they consecutive? Someone's gonna have to look this up. I don't remember if Best Novel was a no award in 2015. 2015 was Spokane. Oh yeah, it's possible her popularity really pissed off the Sad Puppies. Oh no, a black woman who won the Best Novel Hugo for every episode. I talk good. Every book in her series won Best Novel. So, really. I think she might have won in 2014. I know her last one was 2018. I know that one very well. Yes, one of the ringleaders of the puppies had a real hate-on for N.K. Jemisin and John Scalzi, for being a social justice warrior. Anytime Scalzi did anything, it pissed these guys off. So yeah, that was 2015. That was the very weird wildfire threatened, no award giving out Hugo's Worldcon. And now I realize that was 11 years ago, and now I feel old. So I think we can wrap it up. I appreciate you guys for asking questions and keeping me talking so I can actually have an episode. Thank you, Jasmine. Dog cam is cute once she finally settled down into it. Remember Spokane for sure? The air was opaque and crunchy, yes. Yeah, if you want to read any write-ups, you can just look out for Sad Puppies or Hugo Slates, or E Pluribus Hugo is what the new voting system was called. So searching for any of those, you should probably get a number of good write-ups. But I think I'm going to head out. I can be found at merverse.com, which is where you can find links to all the stuff I do. I do live streaming on Twitch on Thursday afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern Time when I talk about writing or the business sometimes. But I also do, every once in a while, I'll do a Ditch Diggers episode, which is more about the business, on Mondays at 3 p.m. with T. Kingfisher. We have not settled on a regular schedule, but we will be doing it next week. And what else? Yeah, if you want to support, you can support via Patreon at patreon.com/mightymur, where you can get access to our awesome Discord. You can get access to the 20 plus years of archives that we have, and some other stuff. I'm making up a lot of cool swag for Worldcon. I can't wait to show you guys. And but I'll be there. Apparently, you can go to the Worldcon schedule and star things now. So if you feel like it, go in there and star whatever you want to see. Like, the live escape pod or my reading. That'd be cool. I'm not sure what it does. if bigger stars mean you come up on search. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how somebody would come across. I don't know how stars would help somebody come across my panels when they wouldn't have otherwise. But I know the star system is there because we were all told to star our own stuff. So that's a thing. But thank you guys for everything and keeping me company. Thank you for listening if you're listening later. And get to work because you should be writing. Jemisin was 2016, 2017, and 2018. So did 3 years in a row, just started with 2016. Yeah, they did try to mess with the Hugos on 2016, but it was so much less awful than 2015. Yeah, thanks for helping me out with links and stuff, Valerie. If you haven't followed Gamer Gramp, Cypher of Tear or The Kids Are Asleep and you like watching nerds play games, you should follow all of them. Now the dog treat channel points next. Yes, okay, I will get that. I think she will agree with you, but I don't have any on me right now, so it's good that we don't have that. Of course, she doesn't know if you guys did spend channel points. I don't know. I'm not even sure who's online right now because I thought my tablet was all charged up and it was not. So I'm not sure who to raid. Why won't you open? Oh, I see.
Designs. You can find all of it at
Sorry about that. Oh, they're starting Alan Wake 2 tonight. That's exciting. Actually, I'm gonna raid Felicia Day because she's doing all the guild is streaming 24/7 on her channel to let people know about the Kickstarter they're doing for the guild movie, and I am a huge fan of the guild. I loved it so much, and so you might end up in the middle of an episode, but it's very funny web TV about gaming nerds. So did I spell it right? We'll see. Anyway, it's just for some amusement. Hopefully, we'll see folks Saturday and or Sunday. I'll be celebrating anniversaries. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll be on. But I got to figure out what's wrong with my throat first. So, y'all take care. Thank you. Goodbye.